go. Good evening. Welcome to the candidates debate for Mayor of Crosby and Crosby City Council. Thank you for coming tonight or watching online from your home. I'm Tom Martin. I'm from the Cuyuna Lakes Chamber. I'll be moderating this evening. Today's forum is a collaboration between the League of Women Voters, the Cuyuna Lakes Chamber of Commerce, and Crosby-Ironton Community Education. Before we begin, I have a few points to cover. Please remain as quiet as possible while the candidates are speaking so that everyone can hear and at home. Please hold your applause until the forum has ended so that the candidates will have all the time possible to get their points across. And everybody here tonight, please turn off your cell phones. Put it on silent mode, please. That'd be great. No photography or recording is allowed during the forum debate. Today's event will be live streamed on the Cuyuna Lakes Chamber and the Crosby-Ironton Community Education Facebook pages and will be available for viewing from now until Election Day. The views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates, not those of the sponsors of the forum. None of today's sponsors will be endorsing any of the candidates. All candidates were invited. You are welcome to submit written questions for the candidates on note cards provided. Questions that are unclear, hostile, or of a personal nature will not be used. We reserve the right to screen the questions and may consolidate questions to cover as many topics as possible. If you do get a chance to ask your question, or if you do not get a chance to ask a question or the answer is unclear, feel free to visit with any of the candidates after the forum debate. With that, I'm going to say each candidate will have 2 minutes for opening remarks. I'll ask a question, and candidates will have up to 1 minute to respond. Each of you will have 1 minute at the end of the forum debate for closing statements. We decided the order for the beginning by random, and we'll rotate the order for answering. So with that, first of all, I just want to introduce all of our candidates here. For City Council, Sean Jarvala, Joanne Lattery, and Adam Cash. And for Mayor tonight is Diane Cash. With Diane, and we're going to use all the same questions for both the Mayor and the City Council. So with that, we'll start with Sean Jarvala. Sean, I'm going to use you guys as first names tonight, if you don't mind. Sean, we'll start with you. Opening statement.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name is Sean Jarvala. I am running as an incumbent for the Crosby City Council. Born and raised in Crosby for 35 years, my family has been a part of this community for generations. I am a devoted father and family man. Graduating from Crosby-Ironton Public Schools, I am a homeowner and taxpayer and currently employed full-time with Nisswa Sanitation as a truck driver. Previously, my employment includes 8 years with CI Transportation and 7 years with T&J Services. During the past 12 years, I have served as a volunteer member of the Crosby Fire and Rescue and am a passionate supporter of all emergency personnel and responders. I have spent years volunteering at the Cuyuna Range Youth Center and played drums in worship bands at Emmanuel Lutheran and Cuyuna Range Community Churches. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. We'll go right over to Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane Cash. I moved here in 1992 and lived in Deerwood Township. In 2005, I bought property in Crosby and moved there. I did have 9 years where I moved to St. Cloud and managed a mall that had the Old Country Buffet, if you remember that. It also had a fitness center, so I was the financial manager for that fitness center for 9 years. My background is construction accounting, basically, with a lot of hotel, restaurant, and property management thrown in. I started on the council in 2019, and I really enjoy it. It's very fun to keep my mind alert with the business side of the running the city. So I try to keep the expenses down. Being a senior on Social Security, I totally get where we're all sitting. It's a tough spot this year. But I appreciate all of you for coming, and I thank the people running the show. They're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane. Over to you, Adam.
Hi, thank you guys for coming today. I'm Adam Cash. I've been here since, since 1992 as well. Then went through Crest, went through Crosby-Ironton High School, graduated in 2001. I've worked pretty much almost every type of job imaginable. I worked at a gas station, worked at a grocery store, worked in a dishwasher, cook, bartender, maintenance, anything and everything that you want to talk about, I've probably done it. I've been known as a jack of all trades. I'm looking to serve anyone and everyone that has a question or a statement or concern, and my phone is always available.
Thanks, Adam. Joanna?
I'm Joanna Lattery. I've lived in Crosby for 20 plus years. I have 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. And now I can't tell you the birth dates. And we also have a 4-legged fur baby who is called Bugs, who's the light of our life at this time, besides our grandchildren, of course. I've been a real estate agent and worked in accounting, also worked for social services for 5 years, and I was a manager of a small market aftermarket business, $3 million business a year. I also was your mayor from 2013 through 2016, and during that time, I'm proud to say we were able to keep the levy level and not increase for a couple of years. And then, as you know, levies are done the year before. So in 2017, after I was done, we reduced the levy by $51,000. So I have an idea of the workings of the city and what needs to be done, and I think we need to get back on the path of taking care of our residents.
Thanks, Joanna. Once again, if you do have a question, audience, just raise your hand and she'll get a little card to write it on, and we'll take a look at it, okay? All right, we are going to start the question and answer segment here. Everybody will get the same questions. We're going to start with Diane this time around. What do you see as top priorities for the city and why?
The 2 top priorities I see are fixing our roads and our sewer and water. A lot of roads need to be repaired. We formed a 5-year capital improvement plan, and we're working on that, but we're also trying to resolve next year what the next 5 years repairs are going to be to try to keep it spread out. We are in the middle of a $9 million sewer and water project. We're in phase 2, and we just found out that we get a $2.3 million grant to help pay for that sewer and water, to help keep your water and sewer bills down. I've been working really hard on the water and sewer bills, keeping the overhead down and fixing some accounting issues that were there. And the other issue is finding good employees and retaining them.
All right, thank you, Diane. Same question to you, Adam. What do you see as top priorities for the city and why?
Well, unfortunately, top priority is going to be my property taxes are going up like everybody else's, unfortunately, and the amount of housing for new families that are coming in, if we can get any. Main priority is trying, with some of the taxes issues, I've seen that Crosby is the only one that takes care of most of the stuff that the community does use, and I believe we should actually try to reach other communities to help, not just have Crosby have the whole burden.
All right, thank you. Joanna, same question. You need me to repeat it? Okay.
I think that the budget is a big concern because we are they have talked about raising the levy 7%, and we're already really up there. We've raised our taxes quite a bit in the last, since 2013. I think we need to continue with the infrastructure, the utilities, keep those up, curb our spending on what we need, not what we want, and be physically responsible to the residents of Crosby. And I don't think that's been done for quite a while.
Thank you. Sean, same question? Want me to repeat it?
I'm good, Tom.
Okay.
So 3 important things I have is fixing roads, housing, and taxes, of course. Everything's going up, and so fixing roads and sidewalks when people are walking or driving down roads, they're getting terrible, and some of the people that were on the council and mayor years ago didn't step up and do anything about it, and the current city that are on there have been moving forward trying to get so many roads done per year. And then housing, I mean, we need families to move here. There's families that want to come back to our beautiful area and can't, so it'd be nice to try to find property to open that up. And then taxes are obviously high, and we need to figure out a solution to bring some of that down.
All right, thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, Adam, you will start with the next question, okay?
Okay.
And these are for both mayor and council members. What skills and experience do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a council member?
Well, like I said in my opening statement, I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I don't like fixing problems. I like to catch the problems before they happen. I've moved up in most of my companies that I've been in as a beginning person to becoming a supervisor or manager. And I always like to work with other people, even if I dislike that person. I will still try to find a common ground to work with.
All right, thank you. Joanna, same question. I can repeat it.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
During my tenure as your mayor, I took proactive approach to the budget, to the infrastructure, the levies, the prior year, and finalization is done in December. So you schedule it in August, you work it out in August, and then you approve it in December to the county. Also, as your mayor, I served on the financial committee. I created Crosby Economic Development and served on that even after I was out of office. I am really wanting to get back in there and get us back on track. I think we've just really gotten off track.
Thank you, Joanna. Sean, what skills and experience do you have that you believe will be beneficial to you as a council member?
So I'm pretty well known around Crosby. I'm a really trustful, honest, devoted person. For experience, I've been on the Crosby City Council for almost 4 years, and then also being on the Hallett Community Center Committee, Fire Department Relief Association Committee, Police Advisory, Serpent Lake Sanitary Sewer District, and other years I've been on Parks and Recreation, Library, and Refuse Committee. So I'm always a pretty dedicated person, reaching out and trying to be in most things I can to learn.
All right, thank you, Sean. Diane, instead of a council member,
Okay. In my 45 years, even since my first year when I was fresh out of college, I've always wound up being the manager that hires and fires and knows the human resources laws, and that's my important contribution, is to try to keep our legal expenses down by following established rules and procedures so that we don't have legal fees. And before my time, the legal fees were around $95,000 a year, and in the last 3 years, we've been averaging around $35,000. And that $35,000 includes $13,000 that gets paid to Crow Wing County, which didn't start being charged to us until 2019. So as a city, we're spending $60,000, $70,000 less a year on legal than we have in the past. And my accounting skills are also very much, I very knowledgeable on the sewer district and keeping those sewer and water bills down. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Joanna, you're first on this one, okay?
Yep.
The housing shortage in the area is a concern. What are your ideas to address it?
Well, we're kind of landlocked right now, and I think that the city has some properties that they could sell to get it back on the tax roll. And I think that being a real estate agent, the location, we have everything to offer somebody. We need to continue to update the infrastructure, get more people involved in rehabbing homes that need rehabbing, and making it available and making it affordable. Also, it would be nice if we had some more apartments, but like I said, we're landlocked, so we need to sell some of the city's properties to get that back on the tax roll.
Thank you. Sean, same question. The housing shortage is in this area is a concern. What are your ideas to address it?
Well, like Joanna said, we're landlocked, and it'd be nice to find a way to expand. I know we've tried expanding towards Deerwood, and that didn't work out so best right now. But if I don't have a complete answer for that, but I do agree we need to find a way to expand.
All right, thank you. Diane?
Recently, the council was approached by a group that owns True North Base Camp, and they're going to attempt to put in, I believe it's 36 units that will be residential apartments, not Airbnb or anything like that. And we're hoping that that gets off the ground early 2026. But we also contribute to the trust fund that's ran out of Crow Wing County. So there's a lot of money available for people that want to create new housing. And there's a large amount of support that our city administrator has given to everyone that remodels. The demo money is available. It's amazing how much money is out there that can help people build housing. But I do know of another land parcel that might be developed, but it's hard when you don't have vacant land to sell. And we're encouraging growth outside of the city limits also, because that helps everybody.
Okay, thank you. Adam?
Well, let's see. I'll start off with basically on the block that I live in, I have 7 Airbnbs that get used once a month, maybe 2 months, whatever. I am not against anybody owning an Airbnb, but at the same time, I am against them because it does take 90% of the houses away from any family that can come in. And I would like to work with the Airbnb owners instead of just making it short-term rentals, weekend rentals, to try to get them to have more, even year-long rentals while people can get into the area, get associated with what they want to do in the area, and hopefully find a place they can either build or buy themselves.
All right, thank you. I'm going to stick with kind of that theme here as we go back over to Sean to start here. We'll get to these audience questions here in a moment, but kind of on the same level, what's your thoughts on short-term rentals?
I think that we need, how can I put it, a limitation on them. Because short-term rentals, it's tough to have families that want to live here for a long time and they can't move into the area. And so I feel that we just need to put a limit to them, because Crosby has, I don't remember how many, but we have quite a few Airbnbs and short-term rentals. So I'm hoping that we can kind of limit them.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Diane? Your thoughts on short-term rentals?
I think the higher interest rates on some of these short-term rentals are going to open some of the owners' eyes, and they'll put them back on the long-term rental market because it's so expensive to turn over a nightly rental with the cleaning fees and everything else. The other issue that we have with housing is there's at least 6 houses between the Army Tank and Ironton that are vacant. And maybe we need an ordinance that if you have a vacant house, you need to do something with it. But that all this stuff depends on if you're willing to force people to do something with their property that they may not want to do. And you have your right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. What some person's happiness might not match somebody else's. But I do know that the state of Minnesota is more aggressively charging sales tax and catching people so that they're not getting tax-free income off of them. And I think that the crime rate has drastically dropped because the housing has improved. The safety of the town has improved.
Thank you. Over to you, Adam. Your thoughts on short-term rentals?
To continue on what I was saying before and to answer Sean's question on there's actually about, roughly last time I looked, was 150 short-term rentals in Crosby alone. Again, I'd like to work with them to see, I'm not against other people making money on properties and selling and renting. That's their choice, that's their prerogative. But to keep this town going, we can't just have Airbnbs, short-term rentals. We need people in the houses, kids to come back and play in the streets. That's my opinion on it.
Thank you. Joanna?
I think we need some kind of control. We don't have anything at the city hall that I know of that shows who has a short-term rental, who owns property. So if you have something happen at that property that you're doing short-term on, you don't know who to contact, if it's the police department or the fire department. I think we need to get some kind of regulation on it. I think we need to come to an agreement with the short-term rentals owners, and I think we need to have some kind of a form that's completed that shows who, where, and what is a short-term rental. And maybe a bed tax. That would help our coffers.
Thank you. We're going to start with Diane. I'm going to grab one from the audience here. Do you, let's see, let's do this one first. How do you feel about tourism in the area, and will you support the current growth? I would imagine that's tourism growth.
When you have a community that suddenly changes to a desirable tourist spot, there's growing pains, there's traffic, and there's congestion. But if we get more businesses and more viable businesses out there, then you have better employment. And those businesses pay a bigger share of the taxes, so indirectly, if your businesses increase, your personal taxes on your real estate should go down, because we don't have to increase our police and our sewer and water. Everything's already there. It's a hard thing to do, but I do believe strongly that the market is a lot of those are going to go back on the market as rentals soon, because the costs, the real estate taxes were raised, the classification of the taxes is changed down at the state level. And it is regulated by Crow Wing County. They have to pay a $400 fee, I believe, and there is very much accountability through Crow Wing.
Thank you. Over to you, Adam. Same question. How do you feel about tourism in the area, and will you support the current growth?
Well, the tourism growth is great. I do agree that our town always has been, I should say, a place where people stop and enjoy the sceneries, use the amenities that are around. The amount of growth we need to figure out more the exact way of how to address certain issues. Again, I'm going to single out bikers, but try to avoid where they are and where they can go is a big concern of mine. I like to have them not be more on the main road, more on the off roads, but that's just me. Otherwise, the growth can do in the cold winter months is what's the next project.
Thank you. Joanna, how do you feel about tourism in the area, and will you support the current growth?
Absolutely support it. But don't put your eggs all in one basket. We have to diversify a little bit from what we are promoting as far as we have biking. Besides the biking, we have lakes to fish, we have trails to ride with your snowmobiles and your four-wheelers. I think that we need to kind of diversify it just a little bit more than what we have been. It's always a concentration of bicyclists, which is great, don't get me wrong, but we do have other silent sports that are good for our town too. And I think growth is great, but you have to be cognizant of what you're doing.
Thank you. Sean, same question. How do you feel about tourism in the area, and will you support the current growth?
First of all, I mean, I do support the growth. Tourism is great. I do support what Diane said a little bit ago. I mean, this place brings a lot of people to this area. We have plenty of things, recreational and everything that we can have to give to these people. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So we'll get to this other question here in a moment, but I'm going to go with a couple of these other ones first. Start with you, Adam.
Okay.
What are your views on tax increment financing?
See, I will openly admit I'm not very familiar with that aspect of everything. All I know is the more that comes out, the less that I have at home. And I unfortunately cannot answer that question with any more detail because I don't want to be wrong.
Perfect, thank you. Joanna, what are your views on tax increment financing?
If it's used properly, it can be a good thing. If it's not used properly, it can be a bad thing. I'm not against it, I'm not for it. I just think you need to determine what the increment is for, what business or what home ownership it's for, and go that way.
Thank you. Sean, same question. What are your views on tax increment financing?
As of right now, I do not have an answer for that question.
Diane?
Tax increment financing is used to give a business that decides to invest at our city free real estate taxes for a certain length of time, or reduced real estate taxes for a certain length of time. The city's done one with the townhomes and stuff, and that one's done, but we're in the middle of one with the Cuyuna Regional Nursing or Assisted Living does have some tax increment financing. That one was geared for too long of a time frame. I believe it was 30 years. We are considering a tax increment financing for a housing development or a apartment complex, but we want to keep that shorter at 5 or 6 years, and nothing like 30-year tax-free.
All right, thank you. Joanna, you start with this one, okay? What do you see as the city council's primary role?
A lot. We need to listen to the residents, take into consideration how the decisions you make are going to affect the whole community, not just one person, not just one business, the whole community. You have to listen to what people have to say and be honest and straightforward with them. And if you agree with them, great. Work hard for them. But I don't think that you can have 5 people on a council and everybody always agrees. So speak your mind. Do your homework. Do your research. Find out the answers to those questions.
Thank you. Sean, over to you. What do you see as the city council's primary role?
Like Joanne said, there's many different things. You have to be there for a listening ear and seeing what the options are for all the businesses in town, and also the residents. They have a voice too, and take into consideration what they have to say, and also a big role for city council. You go to all your committee meetings and workshops, and just have to be on top of things.
Thank you, Sean. We'll go to Diane. Same question only as the mayor's role.
Two of the most important things that city council does is make sure that the town is safe and has police protection and has safe drinking water and utilities available, and keep those up to date and in good repair. It's also the city council's responsibility to make sure the rules are followed and to guard the city checkbook. That is a very important thing, to pay attention to what bills are coming through and where they're getting charged, and if there's problems in an area, to resolve them as soon as you can. But number one is safety, and number two is utilities.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to jump to an audience question here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are correct, yes.
My opinion of the primary goal for a city council is not just to listen to businesses, not just listen to residents, and not just listen to tourism, or tourists, sorry. As a whole, we all need to work together. I'm just one voice if I was elected for the 2,000 plus people in town. We all have to work together one way or another. I'm not going to agree with everything that Mayor Cash says. I'm not going to agree with everything that Sean says, but we need to work together to find a common goal for everybody.
All right, I apologize once again.
No problem.
All right, we're going to go to an audience question here that was approved by our panel. We're going to start with Sean this time. Do you feel it is a conflict of interest to have family members serving as a potential mayor and council member?
I feel that the city attorney, and if they look into it before they run, I see that it's perfectly fine.
Right, Diane, same question. Do you feel it is a conflict of interest to have family members serving as potential mayor and council member?
It may or may not be. It depends on the family members. You can also have the same issue with two good friends being on the council. It's a matter of who you support, who you're willing to work with. It helps when your two family members have no business interests in town. It's not like there's some special magic thing they want to get passed. That does make a big difference, but it is up to the public to decide who gets to run and work. And there's the only legal restriction is that mayor or any of the council cannot appoint a relative to a job. But being elected is up to the people, and it's their choice.
All right, thank you. Adam, same question. Do
No.
you feel it is a conflict of interest to have family members serving as a potential mayor and council member?
I've been answering this question left and right all over town when anybody asks me. I originally wanted to run 4 years ago, but I didn't have all my, eggs in a basket. Steal a line from Joanne here on that one. I didn't know the whole legality part of everything. With me being 42 years old now, and my mother, that's Diane Cash, is 60 something. I'm not going to say the right number. I've never really. There's some things I just don't agree with her on, and I argue with her left and right. I mean, we've had arguments before that I had 4 years that I didn't talk to her. So, in all actuality, if there's something I believe in, I will vote for it. If there's something I don't believe in, I will not vote for it.
Thank you, Adam. Joanna?
That's kind of a tricky question. it can be a bad thing. The only thing that I can see bad is that how do people know that the parties, when they're together, don't talk about, discuss what they're going to do, with how they're going to vote, what they think about this and other things. And if there's another member of the council in that general area, then that's a serial meeting, because there's 3. I think you just have to be very, very careful and confident in the mayor or council member who is running at the same time, that they will be fair, honest, and straightforward.
Okay, thank you. All right, we've got a couple questions left here. We should be right on time here tonight before we get to closing statements. Diane, you'll start with this one.
Okay.
If you could change one thing in our zoning code, what would it be and why?
Back in 2017, they made the area from the city park all the way to Ironton a B1 commercial district. That means that I have land on either side of my house. I don't know if you know where I live. I'm near the border, and there's 10,000 square feet on either side. You can't put a house there because it's a zone business district. And I think that needs to be reviewed and changed, because there's people that do want to build a house right on Main Street, and there's enough other places to have a business district and not necessarily the whole area from the armor tank to Ironton.
Thank you. Same question to you, Adam. If you could change one thing in our zoning code, what would it be and why?
Well, I'm not 100% sure exactly all the zoning areas of the town, but I do know that a lot of these businesses that are on Main Street have apartments above them. If someone, let's just say, were to take original business and want to actually make it into a complete residential, I don't like the loopholes or the fights that you always have to do just to try to do something that you want to try to do.
Thank you. Cuyuna, if you could change one thing in our zoning code, what would it be and why?
I think the area that is for business needs to be looked at again. I know that one block off of Main Street, you can have businesses there and right next door to a home. And I think we just need to look at that. And I know that there were some changes on 210 back in 2014, I believe it was, making more business zones. But I think we just really have to look at it, because the city is so landlocked. We need to open it up for homes.
Thank you. Sean, if you could change one thing in our zoning code, what would it be and why?
I pretty much just agree what everybody else says. Other than that, I don't have a definite answer for that.
All right, fair enough. I got one more question here. I think the audience is done asking questions, so we'll start with you, Adam. What distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Well, this may be bad in my character, what you want to consider it, but I'm not going to hide anything, because that's not who I am. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been on the bad legal side or the good legal side. I've been in the ins and outs. I've been on the rock bottom and worked my way back up. If I didn't give up, I know I'm not going to give up on the town, because that's why I came back here in the first place.
Thank you. Joanna, what distinguishes you from the other candidates?
Well, some of them that have lived here all their lives. I chose to live here 20 plus years ago, and I care about the city, and I've been involved with the city, and I know that we are heading for a really good year if we do it correctly. I think that my business sense, my ability to listen to people, and have earned their trust is a plus, and my knowledge of the workings of the city is good.
Thank you. Sean, what distinguishes you from the other candidates?
I think I'm an excellent listener to discussions before I cast my vote. My preference is drama-free discussions that end with sound business decisions moving the city forward. My work as a firefighter demonstrates my commitment to the people of Crosby and the value I place on being in service. But like I'm going back to, I'm a pretty honest, trustful person. You don't want someone on there that's going to be lying, not trustworthy. You want someone that's going to be pretty well fit.
Thank you. Diane, what distinguishes you from your other candidates?
I think a big help to me, not only having an accounting degree and 45 years experience in accounting, is the 9 years I worked for general contractors. I read blueprints. I was in charge of hiring all the subcontractors. They didn't get paid unless I said they got paid. And so understanding how to build roads and streets, that's something I've spent 7 years doing, and I really like it. And there's a lot of repairs and street improvements we need to have done in this city, and working with the engineer is a very, very important part to. It's a difficult thing for a mayor to have to sign a $9 million loan. And it's much more preferable to get a grant. And I'm working on a grant for First Street North and also a grant for the park to help the water retention problem, the flooding, along with the historic walking trail along 2nd Street South. Those are grants that I'm working on this winter, and I'd like to continue.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for answering these questions. We're going to start. Oh, we might have one more here. Talks amongst yourselves. That's okay. One coming in from outside, and be glad to answer it if we got time. All right, we'll get it up here in just a minute or two. All right, this will be the last question. Now we'll start with you. Okay, Joanna?
No.
You have. You have.
Okay, starting with you. Again, this came from one of our at-home listeners. Will anyone work on building unity in the mayoral and council setting? Between the council members and the mayor, will anyone work on building the unity?
Absolutely. When I was mayor for the 4 years, we did not have any bickering like what they have now or disrespect shown at the council meetings. Everyone has a right to their opinion. Everybody has a right to do their homework and come up with their answers. And no one should be told they can't speak. You have to, as mayor, you have to keep it at a time limit. I understand that. But still, you should be able to speak because you, the residents, elect us to represent you. And there's no reason you can't be there and disagree on something and then walk out the door and go have a Coke or a burger or something.
Thank you. Over to you, Sean. Will anyone work on building unity with the mayor and the council setting?
Short answer is yes. We all need to work together to find solutions, and there's times that we're going to disagree and agree, but we need to work together, not argue, and come with a strong approach to solve things.
Thank you, Diane. Same question.
It's extremely important for council members to go to a training and to learn the rules, that the procedures are, so that when they do something that isn't part of the procedure, they understand why they aren't allowed to speak. Our city attorney is very involved with relaying what the rules are so that they are followed. And that's done for the city's protection, because we don't want statements made that might be slanderous or libel or get the city in trouble. So I do think, and I would relish the thought of working without any antagonism in the next 4 years, 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Adam, will anyone work on building unity with the mayor and the council setting?
Well, I want to say yes. I have to agree with what Joanne said, what Sean said, and what Mayor Cash said. Everybody has their own opinion, everyone has their own mindset, but if you're unable to cooperate or, I can't think of the word. If you're unable to cooperate and unable to actually talk whatever differences you have out, you're just going to keep on going in circles and not get anything done. I want to keep looking forward for the better part of Crosby, not just keep going in circles.
All right, thank you. All right, let's get to the closing statements. Each you have 1 minute for a closing statement. We're going to start with you, Sean.
I believe myself to be an independent, open-minded thinker. I take enormous pride in our city. As a good listener and decision maker, I plan to continue to bring a willingness to do all I can to bring about a positive impression of the greater Cuyuna Range area. With 4 years under my belt and meetings a priority, I have not missed a one. Being an informed and participating member means showing up. I have gained invaluable experience in this position and intend to keep making responsible and reliable decisions, taking into account competing interests and as growth in our booming area is inevitable. As a true Maroon Ranger, I would appreciate your continued support and vote in November. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, thank you. Diane.
Hi, I moved here 32 years ago and to Deerwood Township, and then later to the city of Crosby, and I love it here. All 4 of my kids graduated from here, 3 of them stayed in the area, and the school district is wonderful, the town is wonderful, and I want to do whatever I can to keep it that way. I'm very grateful for the 6 years I've already served, and I hope I can serve a couple more and finish some of these projects that improve the roads and provide a better park and maybe even a playground if we can, a better upgraded playground if we can. That's on the list for 2025 to work on that, and I hope I'm here to do that.
Thank you. Adam, closing statement.
I'd like to start off by saying thanks for everybody coming again, and thanks for the League of Women Voters for holding this in the Crosby or Cuyuna Range Chamber of Commerce. I'm probably not the perfect person for the job, but I'm also very determined to become as perfect as I can be. I know I don't know a lot of the inner workings or infrastructure of the city, but I do know what the lower end of the city wants and what they need. I'm not afraid to step in and get my hands dirty. In fact, I'd rather do that than just sit behind a desk and sign some papers. If I get elected, I will do anything and everything possible to make Crosby even a better place for my kids to want to come back to.
Thank you. Joanna.
If you're looking for someone who is not going to be a yes person and is going to do their homework and will look at all aspects of a problem or question, then I ask for your vote. I think I've proven to you for the 4 years I was your mayor that I do put Crosby first. I would like to continue to do that. I think we have a great community, and we have a great council working people up here that are wanting to take new possession, I don't know. I just ask for your vote. I just think of my responsibilities and think of what I did for you before. That's all.
Thank you all. Thank you to the candidates before that we have here tonight for attending tonight's forum debate. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you to our sponsors, the League of Women Voters, Crosby-Ironton Community Education, and the Cuyuna Lakes Chamber of Commerce. You can find